All right, so we're going to talk about Sisu.
Sisu.
Written and directed by Jalmari Helander. And normally I don't say who it's starring by, but because I wasn't familiar with this actor, I wanted to shout him out. Starring Jorma Tommila.
Yeah.
This is full spoilers for this action film. So if you have not seen this movie, you know the drill at this point. Pause, skip, go away, do whatever, not to get spoiled if you don't want to. Otherwise, what do we think about this?
I had such a good time watching John Wick's grandpa kill Nazis. Oh my gosh. Loved it. Like, man, let me tell you, I said this in the car. If you give me once a month a 90-minute tight action movie with very little dialogue that's heavy on vibes, I will be a happy man the rest of my life. This is like it gave me John Wick 1 vibes of like cool aesthetic, great action, doesn't overstay its welcome. I had a fabulous time with this movie.
Sparkz?
Yeah, I mostly echo what Ryan said. I think that it's just refreshing to have this story set in the avenue it is. Like once we get the opening and it establishes, what's being done with Finland as Germany is vacating, is that they're like, okay, we have to leave, but we're gonna like destroy everything we see in our path as we go.
Scorched
because F you guys, hate that we're losing. Real sore loser action, and I think that's just a unique place to set a story. And then Finland is beautiful. It's just a beautiful, well utilized by the cinematography countryside.
Oh yeah.
To see. So all of that was just a pleasure to watch. And then on top of that, our main actors, our main cast are really great. Especially as you spotlighted Jorma Tommila, who doesn't talk until the very end of the film, but delivers a great performance. And then Axel Hennie, who plays the lead Nazi, and some of his other group, like they're all so good. It's just it's an enjoyable way to watch Nazis get messed up.
Yeah, I actually completely agree, frankly. I loved this. I thought this was really fun, incredibly tight. Love the pacing of it. Yeah, I love a good Nazi killing movie. Like, what can I say? It's maybe gene coded in my DNA, but I love it.
Yeah,
I had a great time.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of, and this is not a negative, but just like John Wick, like there's not a lot of depth here. It is a very straightforward, man on a mission, trying to live his life, gets gonna get revenge. But it's just like it executes everything it's trying to do perfectly. I love the extended. I didn't realize that he wasn't going to talk the entire movie. I thought it was just going to be the opening act. But halfway through the movie, I'm like, this guy hasn't said a single word yet. I love it. I love this. Yeah, what Sparkz said, like I find all the villains, I love them. They're exactly who they need to be. They're assholes. They're abusers. They're sexual assaulters. They're everyone who needs to die. That kind of thing. So like you don't mind.
And they have such interesting character quirks on their own. Like everyone that we meet is a well-rounded character. Everyone who has a speaking role, really, you get everything you need to know about the character, and they feel like real characters, which makes the Nazi killing extra good.
Yeah. Our guy, like the first 20 minutes, it's just him walking around, mining, digging, hanging out with his dog. And I'm like, this is great. I love this. It's just, we're vibing. Just look at this cinematography. It looks gorgeous.
I think that's one of my favorite shots in the whole movie is this part where he goes up and he looks over the countryside way, way, way off in the distance where the mountains are and sees the explosions and of war and knows that it's happening. But he stays away. And I will admit that this is where I started to try to figure out what his motivations were and who he was at this point in the movie. And I set myself up for failure because when he has that moment, he's messing with his ring. Mm-hmm. And I interpreted this as a man trying to get this gold to benefit his family, to like give them a life out of the war and out of what the war had done to them. And then we learn later that like he has no one and nothing.
They died.
This wealth is just for him. And that made me a little less invested in his need to recover the wealth. I was like, I mean, like, I don't want the Nazis to have it, but like, that was, I set myself up for that by creating an idea that I thought that the movie was trying to tell me at that point in time.
I get that. That's a bummer. Cause like, I definitely,
I really quickly just want to say, like, that's interesting because the way I interpreted that same scene, always love how two people can read something so differently and both be valid. Which is that I thought that the Nazis had killed his wife and child, and that's how I interpreted that kind of lamenting ring turn.
Yeah.
So I found that fascinating.
Yeah, I thought that part of what the movie was trying to tell us was, and it was me searching for like why is the gold going to be so important if it's for his family, if it's for his wife, then that meant more to me. When they paint this picture of this man who has lost all this stuff, wealth becomes the only thing. I was like, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine as a motivation. I don't have a problem with it, I guess. Certainly don't want the Nazis to have the gold.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really like the use of setup and payoff in this film. I talk about it a lot with action films. I think it's really important that you set something up and pay it off. There is one spectacular payoff that I threw my hands up because I was so excited for it, and that was the nuclear bomb on the plane. When there's a shot on the nuclear bomb, I'm like, oh, use it. And then we see how he's going to use it. And I was just like, yes, home run.
Not a nuclear bomb, but just a bomb.
Oh, I thought it was just a
nuclear bomb would have done far more damage.
Hiroshima.
Well, if a nuclear bomb isn't armed, if the nuclear bomb isn't armed, it's not going to explode like that, right?
Well, but they also shouldn't have a nuke at this time.
That's true.
Yeah, they don't.
On that plane, you're right. That's true.
So I think it's just a warhead, not a.
Either way, doesn't matter. Excellent moment. Loved it so much. Rose my hand up in excitement. I just truly just like that like nailed it for me. How much I love the movie.
Definitely, the movie went a whole half a point higher just because of him plummeting to his death, saying "F you" while attached to that warhead. I was like, all right, you got it. Good movie.
I knew the dog was going to survive because the trailer has a little sticker. Don't worry, the dog survives. And I think that's really funny because we're just trained in society. We're like, oh, you see an animal in a movie? Oh no, something bad might happen.
I did not see that. So when that dog came up with the dynamite, I was like, huh!
Yeah. And I knew. Even then, that was the moment where I'm like, did they lie to me? Oh my God. Because that dynamite's about to go off. That is a great moment. It's so funny how I really I like the Nazi characters, but I like them because I know they're awful and I know that they're bad things coming to them. But the guy I like the most for some reason is the tank driver who doesn't really have any lines. Half his face is burnt, and you just know this dude he has a hard on for Sisu. He thinks he's so cool. He's always looking at him. He takes his hat off to respect him after he kills him, and I'm like, that's just a fun little thing. He burned half his face and he still respected him. And then the colonel's like, no, you're right. He is a badass. I think that's great. I was sad when he got shot in the face by the colonel. I'm like, oh man, Nazis be Nazis, I guess.
What's really interesting is that they knew that we'd like that character. So watching Sisu kill that character, not down with that. Watching a Nazi kill that character, down with that.
Yeah, that's the mine scene. I think is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh,
oh my God.
All the open fire.
When that horse exploded, I was shocked.
Oh yeah.
I knew the moment they were doing the slow motion shots on the hoof stepping, I'm like, it's gonna step on a mine. It's gonna step on a mine.
For like 30 seconds, he held that horse.
Yeah. I really like it that he even warns the horse after it's. I like that. One of the best kills is in the trailer, which it's fine. It sold me in the movie, but when he throws the mine at the dude, great moment.
Isn't it stuck to his panning thing? He throws it like a shield.
No. He still has the shield.
Oh, he does. Okay.
Because we just see it fly out of the smoke.
Yeah,
and
just flips,
lands on him.
Yeah.
How does he pick it up? That's crazy.
He would have dug it out and grabbed it from the bottom and tossed it.
And one of the things another moment I really like in that same scene is just the two we see in the trailer, the two Nazis kind of running on both sides. What we don't see in the trailer is that when one blows up, the other blows up, and then the leg blows up a third mine.
Right.
That was great.
How many mines did you plant? All of them.
That's just the fear, damn it.
I was kind of surprised at the mine sequence because of that. That he asked that question after those guys have blown up, and then we don't get any more mine explosions after that.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised, but it's fine. We didn't need to.
Yeah, I think the opening, Ryan already mentioned it. The opening with it's just a while. Honestly, we spend a lot of time with this character where there's no action happening. He's just it's just he's looking for gold, and when he finds the gold, he gets on his horse and starts going, and like that's a while, and I really like that. I think it's a really interesting mood piece and really tone piece, and one of the kind of shout out to the pacing of this film. I'm not bored. I'm not sitting there waiting for the action to come. I'm engaged in the movie still, and there is no action happening. I'm just enjoying this time with this character.
Yeah, because it's a well shot movie, and again, being in Finland, like that place is beautiful, and it's like allowing a place to exist, like that is cinema, baby. It's just like, look how beautiful the world is sometimes, and look what the Nazis are doing to it. Real quick, anytime, and I said the Sparkz, like I love it. Like anytime you show me a map in a movie, and like arrows are pointing to it in Indiana Jones, or the Nazis are burning it from the inside, I go off for that shit. I don't know why I love maps in movies and video games so much. But I thought the opening, I was like, cool. Also having chapters, they didn't need it, but it was fun, and they were getting more broken up over time.
I liked the title cards. I thought that was very fun. I liked that attack on it. I really like the map bit again with the narrator at the beginning. Like it fills you in, and I think that's really nice. Again, like it's giving you this window into a pocket of World War II that we're not usually exposed to. So I thought that was a lot of fun. The scorched earth, the way they explain the scorched earth, and like the Nazi symbol with the fire spreading out in a circle. Love it.
Max says, I'm glad that we never got too deep in his past when he fought in flashback scenes. I agree.
Yeah, I'm glad we stuck in it.
No, you get all the information you need, and I thought it was interesting where it comes from and how, but like from the other German general on the other side of the radio saying that, just leave that guy. Don't even.
Just go home.
It's not worth it.
Oh, and I really, really like the villain's motivation.
Right.
Because
it makes perfect sense.
It makes sense. And like this dude, he's the leader of this army, and it's a war he knows he's losing. And he knows if he goes back, then like he will probably get like court-martialed or murdered or anything awful. So he meets a man who has enough gold to run off for paradise forever. He's like, this is my out. This is how we win. And I'm like, bro, I love your motivation. I can't wait to see you get murdered. It's so good.
There's a moment in this movie that I really love. Again, I'll name many before the night is over, I'm sure. But when they come upon the crashed plane, and they're looking at the guy in the plane, the dead pilot, and the guy's like, "That's my rope, the one we hung the dude with."
Yeah,
and everyone's like,
"Everybody move!"
Oh, the colonel looks up at the sky like, God.
Yeah, I thought that was really funny. Like because at that point we built that up, so like we feel that, like the Nazis are like, "Oh shit."
We got the girls, the Finnish girls who are captured, and they have a great scene where they get a bunch of guns, and it reminded me very much of the scene in Sin City when all the girls are on top of the rooftop and they're shooting down all the gangsters below. And like, we gotcha. That was really fun. It's like, it's always a good time seeing like a bunch of machine guns.
No, I really like the way that they put. This is a good point because I really like the music in this point. To bring up that I really like the score. Yeah, I thought the score was a really cool choice of this kind of hard rock sound,
heavy guitars. Yeah,
I thought that
guttural
really
vocals.
When it's pulling up on the side, it's like somewhere between like Mad Max and the Northman.
I definitely felt like Mad Max. It's just on a road. Our story's on this road.
No, I meant in like the score. The score, the score is like living between Mad Max and the Northman score.
Gotcha. I also feel the movie also.
Yes. Mad Max. Yeah. The part where they pull up on the side and they take out the Nazis is really good.
She's just driving the car and she's like, "What's up?"
I also like that he leaves the only guy who were shown with film language clearly was raping at least one of them. Is left to them at the end. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah,
the humor in this is very funny. I think the movie is just in general very funny. There's a bit where they're like someone like they're like, why'd they slow down? So they honk, and then they like wave the dead body to give the okay. I thought that was very funny.
Oh my god, the biker duo. They're like, was that one of ours?
Yeah.
Was that Ben? And they just jump out of the car and just run away.
They just get there and he just raises his pickaxe.
Whatever the name is, Koshi or
whatever
it is. And they're like, Whoop, gun cock.
Bye.
They just get out of the motorcycle and leave, because I love how slowly they show up at this moment. It's like, yep. I don't, you know what? It's
And he
fine.
just
These guys are weird.
pickaxe them,
Yeah.
and he dares them.
Oh yeah.
It's like
I love
the,
the pickaxe.
in a very Ben Magnet being his Mary Frankenstein character, like, you dare cross me? There you go, Ben. Hope you enjoy that whenever you see Sisu and listen to this review.
what was he? What was
Ooh, I like
it's like the moment in Iron Man 3 when the dude. These guys are so weird.
These guys are so weird. I love that.
Mag brings up the best scene is when the hero is stitching up his wounds and the pilot is watching in horror. I agree.
Yeah.
That German dude was so funny. Shoot the dog! Shoot the dog! Oh no, my friend's dead.
Yeah, just like closing it with like these handmade stitches and staples that he creates for himself to close it, and then putting the gasoline on it. And I'm like,
Digging
woo,
the bullet.
this is pretty gnarly, man.
Yeah.
This guy should be dead. He just refuses to die.
Willpower.
This guy should have been dead a few times. He gets hung, and nope.
Strong neck. The thing I
That
do
plane
Leave
careens down and disappears.
Yeah.
It's just gone.
oh my gosh, that was so gnarly. The way that he stays up there is like he gets hooked into his wound. Oh man,
and
that
bleeds for hours.
Yeah,
that
that
man
dude
is still living.
immortal.
That dude died like a week later from the infections. He
Yes.
definitely gotten all his wounds when he landed in the muck. Like, at bare minimum, that guy is dead.
The thing that I like is like, yes, he is like our hero and he's like basically invincible, but like this dude is taking naps like 3 times in this movie because he is so tired and about to die. He definitely falls asleep twice and wakes up the Nazis.
It's go ahead, Sparkz.
I was going to say real quick to the scene that Mag is talking about. One of my favorite things was before it is that it's something that you don't often get, which is where, like, for just an instant, without him saying anything, we do get the notion that it's like, no, he's going to give up now. Because he puts the gold in the dirt and he buries it, and he's like, that's it. As long as they don't get this gold piece, like, it's the bare minimum I can do. Here we are.
Yeah.
And then he sees the plane. He's like, oh, well, F this.
A chance?
I think that I think this guy's surviving so many times, and the naps are a subtle way of cueing in the audience that we're stretching this believability, but not so far that you won't be with us anymore. And the film has already presented itself as this kind of absurd action film,
Sure.
and so like he survives a plane crash on a plane made out of tape and screws.
Right.
that sank into the muck, and we want him to get out of there. Like, there's no question in our minds that he didn't survive that, and that's how good this kind of world that we have inhabited for 90 minutes is.
He inhales oxygen out of the blood.
Oh my god!
Slit neck of one of his enemies.
Not just
underwater.
Incredible,
too. Yeah,
incredible.
In underwater, he's like, and I'm like, man, this is. I've never seen that before. Wow. That's some video game shit. I love it.
You gotta
I adore it
on that wound to get any oxygen out, my man.
He's done it before.
I love it.
Getting in there regardless.
Yeah. I love it because you see like he's like Jaws, right? In that moment, he's like swimming in there, and you're like, oh, he's gonna get it, and he cuts his throat, and like, oh, he got it, and then it gets worse, and he just breathes through the neck.
The guy's just rowing away. We shoot deserters. I don't care.
Yeah.
No, well, what's incredible? What's so funny about that moment
is more
is
of a chance with you shooting at me than I do getting in this water.
Because it's revealed that actually Sisu is pulling the boat at that point, and so like they both have the 2 Nazi generals are both like, oh shit.
Oh man.
Yeah, right. They both look at each other like,
damn it.
Yeah. Yeah. There is a scenario where this movie is 2 hours long, and we get backstory, and there is like family stuff, and like. For a movie like this, you don't need it. Just like, like keep it simple, keep it easy, keep it sleazy,
keep it safe,
keep it safe, keep it simple, keep it safe. Simple sort
of. I think we get everything we need to know about this character from this man's performance, from Jorma Tommila. Like, his performance is incredible as this in this silent role, where again he doesn't speak until the final moments of this film. And I just think it's like such masterful acting that he is just we get it. We see his fear. We see his fury. We see his fear when the surprise when the dog shows up, the happiness, and like he has got such an incredible range of motion that you absolutely see and feel through his face, and I think it's so good.
This guy directed a movie that I love that I didn't know. He directed Rare Exports, A Christmas Tale, which is about a bunch of crazy elf Santas. Love that movie. This guy's super cool. Yeah. This is so cool that this movie, like, I don't know how well it's doing or how big it is. It wasn't at our local theater, right? So it's a smaller movie.
No, well, yeah, it is a smaller movie.
Yeah. I definitely know like budget, but like the distribution wise, but like
because it's international and then being distributed. Yeah. So,
but this being like a Finnish movie, where most of it is in English, despite our main character, like the guy he's a Finnish actor, and most of these people are Finnish actors, Finnish writer director. So it is interesting that like it is mostly in English, just so it can get to the world more and definitely to America. But I'm just glad that like, man, it's so cool that this is the basic, like, this is all Finnish production. Like watching those credits, there's so many crazy names. I'm like, man, it's awesome. I love it. Not a Johnson or Smith in sight. Love it.
I love when he shows up at the bank at the end and he's just the guards at the bank are like holding the guns like, should we shoot this guy? And he just walks in and he's making all this noise and everyone's looking at this guy and he just dumps all the gold on the table. It's just such a good moment. Such a triumphantly good moment.
It's really funny because up until now we've only seen like the dirtiness of war. And then we go into this building and everyone's wearing suits and ties and hats and the pretty ladies are all like dolled up and like this man's just like stomping mud into the place and it's like that is funny. There's a whole other world that he's not living in right now. I think it is a fun way to end the movie too. Just like I thought he was gonna end on I'd like to make a deposit.
I did too.
Yeah, I think that would be really funny, but like it would be a lot it's less heavy if it's in bills. Yeah. I'm like, it's not as funny.
I'll take big bills, please.
Yeah.
Should be easier to carry.
Yeah. And again, like I didn't need to know like his motivation or anything. I'm happy that he just got some money. He went through a lot.
He just really wants that gold.
Yeah. If I found all that gold too, I'd be a millionaire.
I really like the line of dialogue that the Germans talk about his past. When we're just like, he eventually he just got so crazy. They just let him loose and let him kill whoever he could. At one point, he killed 300 men.
They just pointed him because they couldn't control him anymore. Like, hey, can you go kill those guys, please? We won't say anything about it.
I really like this movie. Like Ryan said earlier, there's really not a lot to digest about this film. It's a great movie. It's a great movie. I think we all agree. Should we rate?
Yeah, I will give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's a great time at the movies. I can see this movie like being like a cult classic. Like I really like. I think it's really cool. I think it looks great. Just a great low budget action movie.
Yeah. Sparkz?
Put this right up there with Inglourious Bastards. You want to watch some Nazis get messed up? It's a 9 out of 10.
And I'm pretty sure that the main Nazi in this movie is one of the guys in that movie too. In the Michael Fassbender bar scene.
I'll find out.
Please find out.
Excuse me. I will actually give it a 9.5. I had a gloriously good time with this movie. It's funny, it's awesome, it's everything. And I mean awesome in like the literary sense of the word. Like it gave me awe. Mm-hmm. I love this movie. I thought this was great.
He is not in the Inglourious Bastards.
No, he just looks so much similar.
He is in the Cloverfield Paradox, apparently.
He is. I do remember that. Oh no, he's a guy. Yeah, he does look very similar to a guy I'm thinking of. But that's that's sometimes.
All right. Shall we go into our book club then?